What you doing here? Don't you have practice?
Not anymore, I quit.
Oh. Well, since when are you the quitting kind?
I don't know, I just don't see the point anymore.
So you didn't make the dress list. There are greater tragedies in the world.
I wanted to run out of that tunnel for my dad. To prove to everyone that I worked...
what?
That I was somebody.
Oh, you are so full of crap. You're 5 feet nothing. 100 and nothing. And you got hardly a speck of athletic ability. And you hung in with the best college football team in the land for 2 years. And you're also gonna walk out of here with a degree from the University of Notre Dame. In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself. And after what you've gone through, if you haven't done that by now, it ain't gonna never happen. Now go on back.
Sorry I never got you to see your first game in here.
Hell, I've seen too many games in this stadium.
I thought you said you never saw a game.
I've never seen a game from the stands.
You were a player?
I rode the bench for 2 years. Thought I wasn't being played because of my color. I got filled up with a lot of attitude. So I quit. Still not a week goes by, I don't regret it. And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of you. You hear me clear enough?
What people think about you and the possibilities for your dream is none of your business. The attitude is it can't be done because they haven't seen it. History is being read, but it's also being written by people with imagination. Responsibility for it. That you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you realize that's a part of the program.
As the physically weak man can make himself strong by careful and patient training, so the man of weak thoughts can make them strong by exercising himself in right thinking. To put away aimlessness and weakness and to begin to think with purpose is to enter the ranks of those strong ones who only recognize failure as one of the pathways to attainment, who make all conditions serve them and who think strongly, attempt fearlessly, and accomplish masterfully. He who would accomplish little must sacrifice little. He who would achieve much must sacrifice much. He who would attain highly must sacrifice greatly.
What are you going to do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Major step to human progress. Discipline. If there's one thing to get excited over, that's it. Get excited over your ability to make yourself do the necessary things.
Because the story you have about your life, about your business, about the area of your life is not where you want. The story is what you stop.
Yes, it's hard, and we will do it hard. And once we do it hard, we go through it, we realize it was worth it. And once you discover it's worth it, it is done.
Study the things that can change your economic, social, spiritual, personal life. See, you don't want to wind up at the end of your life and discover that you've lived only 1/10 of it.
I've been listening to laughter all my career. I've been listening to them laugh my whole career. They've been laughing. What, an Irishman win a Cage Warriors world title? Hell no. You serious? An Irishman? An Irishman win a fight in the UFC? Hell no. Laughs all around. Okay, you gotta win. Now he wants to win a world title? Hell no, he's all talk, he's all hype, he's a joke. Laughter all around at the Joker. Then the Joker goes and wins the world title. Now he wants to win a second world title. More laughter. Listen, the sound of laughter and the sound of doubt motivates me. So I'm enjoying that. I seek that. I don't feel no doubt, or I don't feel that going and fighting any of these other UFC bums right now. They need to rise up. Right now, they're down there. I've got this situation where people are truly doubting me, like they doubted me at the very, very beginning. And that's motivating for me. That's what's going to drive me to the gym when I need to go to the gym and to put in that work to get that win.
Stripping that all back to the start of your career, a man with a dream, you know, training in the gym day in, day out. If somebody said to you, you'll have or you'll be as successful as you are now, what would you have said back then?
I believe you. That's what I would have said. Because I did believe.
Yeah.
I believed in it. I had very few people who told me that. I had a small group of people that would tell me something like that. Other than that, it was just me telling myself.
Yep.
So if someone came up to me and told me that all the way back then, I'd say you're right. I was a waster. Got that, called that a lot, you know what I mean? But like, and then when I start getting that focus and realize, no, I'm gonna make this happen. And then now that has happened, I'm making it happen. It's depressing times for a lot of people in Ireland. There's a lot of bad stuff going on in the country. A lot of people are struggling. Everybody's struggling. But now since them seeing me chase this dream, it's giving them an energy, and I see a new lease of life in them. And that alone spurs me on even more. So it's all just a perfect storm that's happening for me. And that is why I have this tunnel vision, and that is why I'm willing to kill every single man in my path. Get that belt, you know what I mean, to secure the future, from my family's future, you know what I mean? That's what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it because for the love of movement, and I'm also doing it to secure because I recognize that it will secure my family's future. So why not take full advantage? Something that I love can actually secure my family's future and make us live a good life for the rest of our days, you know what I mean? And it's not work. I don't work, I live. You know what I mean? I don't have a job, I just have a life. No matter what was going on, some deep situations, I always had the belief that I was going to get here. I was going to get to the UFC. I was going to get... Because I just knew I was different. I know I'm different than these people. I'm enjoying the fruits of my hard work. Nobody works harder than me inside the octagon, outside the octagon. I am a workhorse, so I'm going to enjoy the benefits of this life. I'm going to get myself a big mansion in Las Vegas. I'm going to get the soft top cars. I'm going to bring my whole team out. I'm going to spoil them and give them this life. We're eating good, we're living good. It's human nature. Some people will sit and take positivity from that. They will look at that and take inspiration and inspire. It will inspire them to go and push for that. Others will shell up and critique it and be negative towards it. But one thing is sure, those people will stay where they are. The people who take inspiration from it will rise up and also one day experience that life. So this is human nature. Some go one way, some go the other way. But I am enjoying my money, my hard-earned money that I have dedicated my life to. I can be a product of my environment, you know what I mean? If I'm in with the wrong crowd, I just kind of become wherever, you know what I mean? So that's why I like to be isolated. That's why this has helped me coming out here and being locked in an apartment on my own, building back up my leg, going from rehab to home, because there was no outsiders. It was isolation, it was visualization, it was motivation, and it was dedication. There was nothing else going on in my life, you know what I mean? To get to the pinnacle, it needs to be like that. It needs to be no outsiders. It needs to be, you need to have your team and your focus, and that's it. I don't need friends that aren't involved in this game, or that aren't on the same path, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't make sense. I know nobody can tell me that I move the same as any of these guys, because I don't move the same. I move differently, I move unique, and I know I move unique. Not only that, I speak unique, I act unique. I'm just different than these people, you know what I mean? So I dress unique. I dress unique, whatever. I just feel different to these, on another level, on another playing field than any of them before me. That's why I know I have no doubt in my mind that I'm the great, that I will be the greatest of all time. In my head already, I am better than everybody, and I know, you know, there's a lot of hate come from people, you know, but I know, and I will prove. You give me time, and I will prove it to everybody. When you're chasing your dream and when you're working hard, chasing something you love and and completely dedicated, it just happens. You can't really notice it. You know, even still to this day, I'm in an amazing position in my life, but I'm still working like I'm not. I'm still working like I'm not in this position.
Absolutely.
I'm still working like none of this is even. It's just something I love to do, and I just keep pushing and keep working hard. I can't pinpoint an exact moment for you, but if anything, I always felt like it was happening way back then, and now it is happening, but now I almost feel like it's not happening. You know what I mean? And I want to push to something else.
Absolutely.
I'm always striving to push forward. No, I don't like thinking too far ahead. People set like goals, long distance goals, and that's too much for me. I already feel like I'm living it, and then I just carry on doing that. You know, carry on day by day, already living the final goal, the goal of being the world champion. I already carry myself like I'm a world champion. I already speak like I'm a world champion, and that's it. I just carry on day by day. So I'll take it as it comes.
You know, hard work pays. I put in a hell of a lot of work all throughout this build-up in the fight. I pumped out more content than anybody, more content than Fox, more content than ESPN, more content than BT Sport, more content than everybody on the Mac Live on my own channels. You know what I mean? I'm a fucking workhorse from all angles, not just in the gym. But I'm building this media empire now myself, and we pumped out the content. I'm very proud of how it went. We consistently, daily movies I was releasing, you know, from like a month ago, every single day. You know what I mean? Nobody's doing that. So I'm very proud of it, and I'm very, like, the work pays, hard work pays, and I put in the fucking work, and that's why I'm sitting at the top. I put it all on the line. I show up, I perform, and I get the results from that. So
What do you think they'll say about you in 50 years?
You know, I'm not quite sure what they'll say about me. They'll probably just say I'm a young kid who showed up when he said he was going to show up. And that's it. I cannot control what people say about me now or in the future. But I certainly know what I am doing, and the stuff that I have done and achieved will live on long after I am gone.
There once was a pianist who worked in a bar and played there every night. One night, a patron asked him to sing. The man said, "I don't sing." But the man was very persistent. He told the bar owner, "I come here almost every night. You know it. I'm tired of listening to the piano. Tell that guy to sing." The owner shouted across the room, "Hey, Nate, customers want you to sing. If you want to get paid tonight, sing a song." So he did. He sang a song. The pianist, who had never sung in public, sang a song for the very first time. That night, the patrons of the bar heard the best ever version of the song Mona Lisa, sung by who? Nat King Cole. Because he had to sing, Nat discovered that he had a talent he was sitting on. He would have lived his life as a no-name piano player if somebody didn't make him sing. Cole became one of the best-known singers of the 20th century in America. That was brought to you by Barry Powell. Today's episode is entitled, "You Have Nothing to Prove and You Have Everything to Improve." Again, you have nothing to prove and you have everything to improve. That was inspired by a book called Chasing Failures by Ryan Leake. Matter of fact, this whole episode is dedicated to that book because of the impact it has had upon my life. Enough of the small talk. Let's get to work. If you're new to the Impact Secret Podcast show, welcome to the family. To my existing family, big up. As always, thank you for joining. On this podcast show, we shift the mindset through inspiration, motivation with a standing foundation of self-discipline. I am your respectful host, ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, look, that just simply means Ed. You know the motto, the slogan that we live by and we go by here: bet on yourself. You won't win unless you get in the game and play. A quote that has resonated with us well here by Bob Marley: you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. Again, Bob Marley: you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. Living means doing what you love to do, even if you have to fail or fall to get back up. Again, living means doing what you love to do, even if you have to fall to get back up. One question, two thought-provoking statements. First question: what are you doing occasionally? What are you doing occasionally? First thought-provoking statement: don't worry about winning someday. Focus on winning today. Again, as I told you before, this episode is really inspired by the book Chasing Failures by Ryan Leake. And that was one of his things, and I actually took action and wrote it up on my whiteboard. Another thought-provoking statement: you want to create a habit of consistency. Again, you want to create a habit of consistency. Again, today's episode is entitled "You Have Nothing to Prove and You Have Everything to Improve." You know, family, I've struggled with this through my whole life. I struggle with it because that's why I like Draymond Green's new show, Chip. See, what I've learned about the great ones, what I've learned about people that have inspired me, what I've learned about people that have arrested my attention in a way that nothing or no one else can, they had something in common with me that I didn't discover or understand at that point in time. And it was a chip. You see, that's why The Last Dance really spoke to me, because I really got to see in depth about Michael Jordan. Things that I feel like, if you haven't read the book, Tim Grover's first book about Relentless, he talks about the dark side. And the dark side is one of those things where people, in so many words, push you into a corner and dare you to come out swinging. They challenge you to come out and believe that you can do what you believe you can do. You see, what I understood was about the chip on my shoulder is the fact that I have always been discredited. I have always been looked down upon. I've always felt a sense of frustration because I know where I can literally see myself at, and where I can literally see where I'm going to be at. And just the time and the patience to get there has been, let's just keep it a buck with you, it's been frustrating. Because I have this chip as I'm watching people that are ahead of me. I'm watching people that shouldn't be. Well, let me correct myself. I'll just say that I'm just looking and watching and seeing things, and I'm like, how did they get there? Oh, they have a team. They have this. And then I had to catch myself because I understood that it's not about being a victim. It's about being a victor. So I have to take a step by step. See, reason why I made this show and dedicated to the book Chasing Failures, which I hope that you'll go pick up or listen to. It's an amazing piece of art because of the fact that Ryan Leake talks about winning the day. See, we're so focused on long-term goals. We're especially when New Year's comes around, we all have these amazing New Year's goals that if we look at it, we never really execute on consistently. Yeah, we start off extremely strong for that month of January, but then when February rolls around, we start finding excuses, or I like to call it, we start having those conversations in a way that allow us to talk ourselves out of what we said we needed and we wanted out of life. One of the things he mentioned in the book was talking about extraordinary people do consistently what ordinary people do occasionally. I'll bring that back. He said, extraordinary people do consistently what ordinary people do occasionally. So I posed that question to you, family, when I said, what are you doing occasionally? What are you? Okay, maybe you need some examples. See, family, I occasionally, I have a workout plan where I was working out 5 times a week. And to me, I really wasn't consistent. I mean, I was consistent in other people's eyes. They probably would be like, wow, you're working out. But I really wasn't consistent because I wasn't adding the meal piece associated with that. Yeah, I was working out, but then I'm eating things that I know is not aligned with the goal that I want, which is I wanted a 6-pack. Still do. But I understand there's things that I have to cut out, and I still haven't made it there yet, but I'm working on winning the day. So my focus is I don't want to create a diet or a quick fix. I need to find and create a customized plan for myself to create a lifestyle. See, family, when you are in a hurry to get to a goal, it's sort of like a diet. Yeah, you may lose that 20 or 30 pounds in an instant, but you'll gain it back and even probably gain back more. So the focus has to be more about creating a lifestyle for your life in which that you can win each day. That's why I love that part when he talked about winning each day, because when you have an opportunity to have a win under your belt, it does something. It's sort of like a dopamine rush, like when you have success of some things you said you're going to accomplish. And I'm looking at my board right now, and on my board I have expected wins of this week. So I listed out like 9 things. It's probably going to go up, but I want to be able to look at it day in and day out to see how am I measuring up. And normally I had this in an Excel spreadsheet, but the visibility wasn't there. And so I said, okay, how do I put some visibility there? And my purpose is, or my thought is, okay, how do I customize it to fit me? See, family, when we get information, that doesn't mean that we have to take the information and do it verbatim. What that means is we need to find a way to put a mix or customize it if the information is not aligning where we're at. In any way, you still want to customize it in a way to fit your plan. Who knows what your day in and day out is? But for me, I understood that for the goals that I want, there's something that's going to be required of me. That's why I had loved that Conor McGregor clip that I played for you guys, is because of the fact some of the things he was saying, whether if you like the man or not, some people, I remember 50 has said, some people will perceive his confidence as him being cocky. And it's really weird in this day and age. If you really believe in yourself that, hey, I'm going to be the greatest version of myself, but I'm going to work, and the only way I'm going to be the greatest version is I'm going to work on myself day in and day out. People will just blank out and create and not hear all of that. What they will hear is that you're going to be the greatest, but they didn't hear that you're going to put in the required and more work so you can be the greatest version of yourself. And yes, you're going to fall, yes, you're going to slip, yes, you're going to make some bad decisions, but how well can you recover? How well can you get back up and say, okay, yep, I learned from that, let me move on? And that is what that are some of the foundational pieces of the book of Chasing Failure that caught my attention, is that he talked about some of the failures. And a lot of people, and I've shared this with you before many of times, and I said, family, I said, I'm so tired of looking at the success. I know I don't claim to be the smartest person in the world, but I know how to celebrate a win. But I want to see, how do you move in the mind, or I should say, how do you move when you're in chaos? How do you move when you are in a situation where you you're in a current situation and you're looking at it, but you know where you're going and you're just waiting. You're just wondering, when am I going to get there? I want to see how those people navigated then and learn from those mistakes. I don't need to learn from your successes as far as, yeah, you've done it. You made it to the mountaintop. That's great. But tell me the steps that you had to overcome and you had to go through. That's why I started focusing on more books that talked about failure and start focusing on things that created an opportunity to open my mind more and learn more. That's why you need to start reading or listening to an audio book any chance that you get. I mean, even if for 15 minutes a day. And I know what you're going to say, because I've done it too. I've made the simple excuse or the simple complaint, like, I just don't have the time for that. I got all these different things and this and that and whatever. But if you really sit back and be honest with yourself, if you decide, just, you know what, I'm not going to watch that show today. I think I'm going to focus on my 15 minutes, or I'm going to focus on my audio. And again, you're not going to get it right every day, and stop searching or trying to be perfect, because perfect does not exist. I heard a quote too that resonated well with me, and I'm going to mess it up, so I may not say it here. I may talk about it on another show, but I'll just give you a high level of what of an ED remix. More or less is that people are trying to create a perfect situation, but they don't even know what perfect looks like. I'll say that again. People are trying to create a perfect situation, but don't even know what perfect looks like. Here's some examples. They say, oh, I want to create a podcast, but I need to have all of these things perfect. But where have you seen a perfect podcast? If you have, please fill me in. Oh, well, I've listened to such and such, and I guarantee you, if we were to go to talk to that podcaster or the person that is behind that, he'll say, or she'll say, well, you know what? If you would have listened to this part of the audio, there was some choppiness that, we missed. Or if someone is an author and says, that wants to be an author and write a book, they'll say, well, I want to make sure the book is, no grammar, no spelling errors and all of these things. And I promise you, if you go to that author, he or she will say to you, you know what, there was an opportunity that we, after 5 or 10 revisions, we thought we caught all the grammar and the spelling issues, but we missed one. See, family, that's why I said it's important. Matter of fact, it is imperative that you stop searching and trying to be perfect. What you need to do, what I advise you to do, what I consult with you to do is to focus on winning one day at a time. And over time, those habits will build up a consistency, which will allow you to be more successful again over time. What is something that you've thought that you wanted to do and you are waiting for that perfect time? What is something that you felt that you had to prove to somebody and you wasted all your energy in proving to somebody? But let me stop you right there parenthetically and let it be known, there is something great about using the energy of someone that it has doubted you, of someone that thought you can't do it. But be careful, because there's 2 reasons why. If that energy is no longer there, how do you continue to push yourself and create that consistency? And number 2, if that energy is still there, how do you make sure that you're doing it for you and not doing it because you're trying to prove somebody wrong? You got to be careful of that, because again, family, as I stated, I have been really guilty of that, of just saying that, oh, well, you know what, you're saying that I can't do such and such. When my counselor told me, you're not college material, I don't think that, you may want to look at the armed forces because that may be a better route for you, because based on your grades, I think I had like a 2 point or 2.1, and some areas, I think you probably would be a better fit there versus going, that way you go into armed forces, you'll learn some things. So I took the consultation. I was like, maybe they're right. So I went to go take the test at the the Armed Forces office, and I didn't even pass the aptitude test. But now fast forwarding, I have 3 degrees. And I'm not saying that to impress you, as Les Brown would say. I'm just trying to impress upon you. Stop allowing people to limit you on what they believe or what they see, because they don't know the person that's inside of you. But I use that as fuel. I use that as a motivation. Now, once that chapter was done and closed, I moved on to the next thing. And now my thing is communication. My thing is, diving into a passion of what I love, which is sneakers and fashion. And I don't know what's going to happen with that. But I'm willing to take the risk. I'm willing to continuously improve and learn. How can I get better? I'm reading everything I can on reselling sneakers. If there's a book out, I'm working on reading it. If I haven't already read it, I'm learning about business. I am basically immersing myself in the thing that I want. Okay, family, I won't hold you no more. I've held you long enough. What I will say to you, family, is this, is if you focus on the day, not the week, not the month, not the year, I truly believe, based on what I read in Chasing Failures, and I'm going to tell you more. I'm going to live it first, but I want to share with you just in case if you want to beat me to the punch as far as running an experiment. You know what we do here at the Impact Secret Podcast. We run experiments to see, hey, if what I read really works. So what I am doing is, that's why I wrote my expected wins on the board. I want to see if I'm able to execute on the things that I said that I wanted to do. If I said that I really wanted to do training, am I getting up and doing the necessary training? I had to figure out my schedule. And what I realized is I was giving more time to wanting to work out when more or less I needed to have a balance. I needed to start over again. I had to reset. I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he was saying, start doing every other day. And then, eventually you can increase, but start doing every other day, meaning Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And he said, because that way it would encourage you. You'll get excited about looking towards, that day you're going to work out. And then also gives your body a chance to rest. So I said, okay, well, we're going to test it out. And as well as while those days that I'm not working out, that's the time I can really, that hour and 20 minutes, I can really hone in and start doing additional training. I can do things that I said I wanted to do. So family, you have to find those gaps in those areas of opportunity. I hope today that I gave you something that you can use in starting today. Again, pick up that book, Chasing Failures, whether you listen to an audio book or you actually read the context of the book. But it's an excellent read. It really illustrates about what I've been talking about here at the show, which is you really want to learn from people's failures. You really want to understand, how do people push through failures when they have fear of potentially failing and they never get started? And because they never get started, what happens? They fail anyway. So family, whatever that thing is that you said you wanted to do, pick it up, get it off the shelf, and now start going back to work. Well, that's been this episode today. I've been your host, ED. This has been another Impact Secret Podcast show. You know what I say at the end. Peace.